Hey YouTube, it's Madeline Usagi, which if you didn't know what that means rabbit in Japanese. I have a rabbit and I love learning Japanese, so I figured I'd make it a part of my name. In this video, I'm going to go over my language learning goals. Now these don't usually have, for me, a certain time frame. They're just things I want to learn in general. Now I'll get down to specifics about each goal, and some do have short time frames, but they're not like within 3 months or by the time I graduate high school or before I study abroad. For me, it's a little different. First goal I want to talk about is what languages do I really want to learn? I want to learn a lot of languages. It's no secret in my family and in my life. Everyone knows it. But what are the languages exactly that I really just want to know, just to know that I know? First is Japanese. Japanese is at the top of my list. I've wanted to learn it since I was a kid, immersed in anime, but then my love for the culture grew as I got older. Second is French. I was a French major in college for a couple of years until I switched. Not because I didn't like the language, just because my career changed. So I had to put French on hold, and I unfortunately forgot most of my French. But I would love to relearn it. The third is Russian, because half my family is from Ukraine. I've been to Ukraine and Russia. I went to Russia in 2009 and Ukraine in 2013. I really enjoyed those countries. I'm surprised I haven't learned it yet. It just needs to be done. So that's high on my list too. Next is Korean. I mainly want to follow up after Japanese with Korean because I've heard they're so alike and because I'm very fascinated by East Asian cultures in general. So Korean is also on my list. And finally, speaking of East Asian cultures, I'm really interested in learning Vietnamese. I already have a lot of Vietnamese under my belt. I grew up going to a Vietnamese nail salon, so I was listening to the technicians talk and talk and talk, and I just decided to pick it up myself. One, because I want to know what they're saying, and two, I thought it'd be fun to talk with them. So those are the 5, I guess, languages that I really want to learn. So let's get started with each individual language. So for Japanese, my main concern is kanji. I actually have a couple of outlets. I would like, yeah, this pile is really high. It's on my desk. A couple of outlets to learn kanji. So this first one here is actually, it's a folder, and it's holding printouts. I have a lot of printouts. I went on a website. I just Googled vocabulary lists in Japanese, and I have just a bunch of them. I expanded some of them to make them bigger. But basically what it is, this one is a nationalities list, so it has the English, the hiragana, the translation. Oh wait, hold on. It has the English, katakana, katakana, and it has romaji, and it has the kanji, and then the language. Like, let's say it's Finland, and the language would be Finnish. So that started out pretty confusing, but it does list the kanji. So not only do I get a vocab word, I also get the kanji that goes with it. So I have nationalities, questions, like introduction questions, big list of verbs, adjectives. Is that it for right now? Looks like that's it for right now. But these lists, like the adjectives was 17 pages long of Japanese vocab. So that's the first thing I do for kanji, is if you could find like a list that includes the kanji as well, you should totally go for it. Next, I have these flashcards. I got them at Barnes & Noble and also Amazon. I got 2 sets. You can get them at either. I think Amazon has them more than Barnes & Noble, but they're just flashcards. Look right in the cover. Mine are all undone. They're kind of ugly now because I took them out of the packaging. But it comes with a ring, and it has all the possible word combinations too you can use with the kanji to make it sound. And so I just go through these. It's hard to go through them. I also use Quizlet for my kanji, so I guess it kind of combines with the vocab cards. And last thing for Japanese kanji is actually a kanji workbook. This is an excellent workbook. It's called Japanese Kanji Power. I'll flip to a random page. So it gives you the name, and it has the different ways to pronounce it, sentence examples, and then it has word examples with the it has hiragana here too. And then it has a place, so if you can't hear me, place where you can practice the kanji character as well. Next language is Russian for me, and the main concern I have with the Russian language in terms of my studying is the grammar. Most people will tell you the Russian case system is very difficult, and it is very difficult. So I have 2 little outlets for that. I bought this at a language bookstore that had like the most 90s, 80s looking books ever. This is Essentials of Russian Grammar. I'm gonna turn to a page just so you can see how it is. It's just very outdated, and like the printing is off, but it really goes through thoroughly with lots of examples. It's a good book. It's very hefty though. I'll mention this series again. This is the Shalms Outlines. They have languages and math and chemistry and English stuff. They have a whole bunch of school subjects, but these are practice workbooks. They come with examples beforehand, but you can always, there's a whole bunch of exercises, so, and it's also extremely floppy, guys. It's very floppy, so I like that. But it goes through all the grammar. Same thing as this book. This has more examples, but this has more exercises, so that's why I like to use them both. So next language is Korean. I don't really have any goals for Korean mainly because I haven't really started with it. I learned like how to say hi, how are you, and that's it. But I'm just gonna highlight them. A language learning book series I enjoy very much. It's called the Living Language series. You probably hear some good things about it. First, it comes with 3 workbooks. It comes in a essential, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. It also comes with, for Korean and Japanese as well, a reading and writing guide, which gives you a chance to practice writing the alphabet in Korean. And then it comes with, everyone comes with 9 CDs. Every language comes with corresponding CDs for the corresponding levels. And I really plan to use this language series just to help my progression with Korean, because it doesn't start you out. Yeah, it starts you out with how are you, but it also launches you in with other vocab that's helpful, like other ways to say how you are. They do that already. And when you get to the family section, they do like a lot of different types, like younger sister, younger brother, older sister, older brother. Like it's not just brother, sister. So they get into the nitty-gritty a lot too, which is nice. Next, for Vietnamese, I don't really have a lot for Vietnamese because there are not many materials out there. You'd think there would be, but it's not on Amazon. Okay, I'm talking about Amazon because that is my #1 go-to. I already have other workbooks, but this book is very helpful. The workbooks I got from Barnes & Noble are very difficult. I don't know why they're called elementary, but they're actually not. They don't even introduce you to the language. It's not a beginner's workbook. So I got Easy Vietnamese, which is excellent, but it definitely goes through. It first starts off with a giant dialogue, and then the best part, it lists out all the vocab in dialogue, and then it goes through, if I turn my page properly, it breaks down the sentence structure. And you can go through and see like each part of the sentence broken down, and it's defined, each part of the sentence. Then it comes with exercises. So I just like this. It goes through a lot of various topics you would use in everyday life. So yes, the easy line from Toodle, they have easy for most languages, so yeah. And my last like goal surrounding the workbooks this is French now. My goal, as I stated before, for French is to relearn it, and that's like very broad. So I got 3 varying workbooks that would help me in different aspects of the language. The first, from McGraw-Hill Education's Practice Makes Perfect line, is French Conversation, which goes through kind of the stuff they don't teach you even in school, like the little ins and outs of conversation, like, oh yeah, cool, or alright, or like how to say like those little filler phrases and filler words. And again, from that Shalms line I did use in Russian, I have the grammar and the vocab, which is really nice. The vocab goes into like so much detail. In the restaurant section, there's a list for literally how you want to cook your steak and how you want your fish fried, and like they really goes into specifics about like everything. So my next goal, that was like goal number 2. First goal was which languages. Second was how am I learning, like what about each language. The third one is I want to be able to order food in restaurants of the various ethnic foods. I live in a very, very diverse area, and so there are tons of restaurant options, and the waiters and the servers and the staff are actually, so if I go to like an Indian restaurant, they are from India. Like there's a lot of people there who bring their culture with them in the form of a restaurant. So I think it's a good practice kind of thing to be able to go into a restaurant, ask to be seated in that target language, order in that target language, and converse with the server the entire time in that target language. Like that's a good goal of mine. Even if I can't do it the entire time, the goal is to at least announce to myself that I'm practicing. And most of the time when I've done it, I did it at an Indian restaurant once, and the guy said, wow, your pronunciation is great. He didn't care, that's all I could say, like that one phrase, but he was glad I was trying, and he was flattered, you know, that I'm trying to learn his language. And my last goal is to be able to read stories, novels, articles in that language. So reading is very important to me as a person, and I definitely want to expand. I don't want to just speak the language, I want to be able to read and write in it. That'd be very ideal, just so I get a full fluency. I don't have to just say I speak and that's it. I can't translate documents. I want to be able to read. For Japanese, I have, I can't say all these titles yet, but Goodnight Moon in Japanese. So this is just like the original, but in Japanese. The Hungry Hungry Caterpillar in Japanese. Oh no, paper's falling out. But yeah, it's just like the same thing, but just in Japanese. And then this one is very exciting. I was very happy to find this. Is Where the Wild Things Are in Japanese. So let's see if I can turn to a page. Yep, it's in Japanese. I have one Vietnamese book, and it's called Guess How Much I Love You. It's literally like a dual language book for kids. Yeah, it's like literally the Vietnamese is on top, and then the English on the bottom. Let's drop the book. So this is actually really exciting because one, I have a rabbit and it has bunnies. I'm super pumped. So we'll get to that one. For French, I don't have any for Korean, or Russian actually. I'm surprised that I don't, but I want to be able to read in the future for that. I'm just showing you kind of what I have now. I have a lot in French. First, I'll start off with the most exciting. I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone. It's not called that in French, but the first book, and the second, Chamber of Secrets, in French. And my rabbit, as you can see, he chewed my books, man. He like got to them. No, it's just really cool, and it's really petite and like tiny because they're short and squat. Like compared to my hand, it's a very small book. But I'm very excited to be able to read these. And I have my rabbit also got to this book, but these are actually more high-end stories. These French stories have Camus, Voltaire, Balzac. These are actually very high level French, but they're dual language as well. So this has the English and then the French, so you can like follow along. And then I have two short stories. They come with audio, and this one's cool. It's called French Short Stories for the Intermediate Level, which I'm actually comfortably able to follow along with, but they highlight the vocab. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I was like turning to the whole vocab list for like two stories. They highlight the vocab and then you'll see it in like the following part, like it'll just match up or something like that. This one is different. It is a story about an American girl in France, but it follows, like, you talk about her parents in a chapter, and then it'll have questions at the end, like follow-up questions. So it talks about her friends at school. So that's it, guys. You saw my goals, you heard my goals, and you saw the resources that I want to use to complete them. So leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, the whole deal. Let me know if any of these goals coincide with your goals, or if you have a suggestion for me as to what I could use for my goals. Talk to you later. Bye!